Hi, thanks for joining the show. I'm Lisa Bradshaw. On today's show, I have a couple of different people, so you'll meet them throughout the segments as the show goes on. And starting off the show, I have Nick McLean from Nick McLean Real Estate Group. Thanks for being here.
Great to be here.
So I've been seeing a lot of you lately, maybe largely because I have friends who work with you, so I see friends of friends things, but I also have been noticing a lot more, well, maybe not more, but I've noticed it, the social media and different things you're doing to market your business. So I wanted to have you here because I've been paying attention and I've been actually in the market for deciding if I want to build or buy. So maybe I'm paying, you know, it's like when you see the car that you bought and now you see it all over the place. So I'm noticing the real estate stuff going on around town, but thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you.
So tell us a bit about your start, you know, how you got started in real estate and why you did it here in Wenatchee.
Well, you know, a lot of people in real estate, they fall into it. There's no college degree to become a real estate agent. I think maybe Texas has a 4-year degree to be a real estate agent, but right now in Washington State, it's 90 hours of online courses, so it's not necessarily a goal or a dream of anybody. I was a commercial airline pilot. I grew up in Cleellum, small town, went to Florida and learned to fly. So I learned, that was my goal, that was my dream.
Was that your dream job always?
Yeah, well, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and like many 18 to 20-year-olds, you don't know. And so I thought, what was the biggest thing possible? Well, I looked up in the air and maybe I should fly an airline. So I became an airline pilot and lost my job. But during that process, bought a home in Wenatchee with my wife, Emily. So we lived here and we didn't want to move.
So did you lose your job during like the cuts and the cutbacks, or what were you having to ride the wave of?
Yeah, it was high oil prices. It wasn't because it was after September 11th, high oil prices, a lot of instability in the airline industry. But I lived here and we didn't want to move and I didn't want to commute. I was gone 23 days a month. And so I actually almost dropped out of college to become a real estate agent when it was on fire and everyone was making money. So
back when you were studying to be a pilot.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So
it interested you then.
I've always been an entrepreneur at heart, and I got into it in 2008, the year the market completely tanked.
Wow.
So I actually sold one home my first year.
Wow.
And barely made it.
So when you're asking people, hey, what do you think of real estate, or did you ask opinions, they're probably telling you this is the worst time to get in real estate.
Well, before that, so they were killing it. They were making a ton of money, and they were like, yeah, this is a great idea.
And then the time it took you to get there, right?
And then the time it takes. You know, the average agent, you know, after 2 years, 4 out of 5 will be out of the industry. You'd only sell your one home in your first 6 months. So it's a cash flow problem. It's a hard thing to get into because you have a lot of established referral-based realtors. So I was in Lake Chelan and learned to sell in the hardest market in the history. And everyone told me, you know, if you can ever make it to when the market comes back, you're going to do really well. And I was like, oh, I hope so. I hope you're right.
And what do you think? What do you attribute that to? That you were able to stick it out like that? Because there were all kinds of people who had to overcome things during that time, builders and I mean, people, everybody.
Staying positive. Being relentlessly positive, not watching the news, not letting external factors determine my outcomes, and not letting that determine my sellers or my clients' outcomes either. So how's the market doing, Nick, in 2009? Doing great. Doing better than I've ever done before, which was true. I sold one home my first year, sold 12 my next year. This is the bump. This is the best year ever. So staying really positive and then being proactive in my marketing. So agents I was finding at the time they were negative, they were down. They were pulling back their marketing budgets when I was ramping up my marketing budgets. And that's really the key. It's like, key in business is see what everyone's doing and do the opposite. And that's what I did every day. And it was small. They were tiny little things, right?
Were you here? You were in Chelan.
I was in Chelan. I lived in Wenatchee.
So you were you a broker right away? Or you were an agent?
I was an agent.
Okay.
I was an agent with an independent broker up there. And when I listed a home to sell your home, Lisa, I would be very proactive because I couldn't rely on everyone else to sell it. In 2007, you put a sign in the yard, sold. You didn't have to do anything. I just had to find the sellers. But it was about, you know, getting the listing and then finding the buyers, not relying on anyone. That has been our kind of a key to success.
So as you maneuvered real estate, and you started to think, did you think right away you want to go on your own? It was only a matter of time, or what was it that catapulted you to that decision?
Well, I got to a point where I was outselling my broker, I was outselling everyone, and I was doing the majority of the business. And my broker, a mentor of mine, actually came to me and said, it's time, right? It's time for you to start your own company, and so I did.
And what amount of time was that?
That was my 4th year.
Okay.
2012. And then I was in Chelan, and at the time, agents in Chelan worked in Chelan. Agents in Wenatchee worked in Wenatchee. Agents in Leavenworth worked in Leavenworth. You didn't cross the border. There was almost like this border that everyone knew
And
not to
unspoken.
cross, unspoken. And I said, well, this is ridiculous because North Central Washington is North Central Washington. People from Seattle, they look in Leavenworth, Wenatchee, and Chelan. So I'm going to open my office in Wenatchee. I'm going to serve the entire area. And I'm going to knock down these.
How'd that go over?
Not very popular. Not very popular. And I've heard that. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I've heard, you don't get along with everybody. No, I do. Our vision is to serve the entire area because we think it's best for everybody. And it's completely changed. Now agents work the entire area. Now they know the entire area.
Well, I can tell you this, since I've been looking, when I bought my house that I'm in now, I bought it in 2012 at a really good time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And it was a short sale, and I'd been looking for a year and a half, and I knew the area I wanted to live. There wasn't anything wrong with the house. People just moved, and it was a house I'd looked at online probably a year before, but it was out of my range, and now it wasn't. And all I needed to do was paint it the colors I wanted. That was it. There was nothing wrong with it. And so I can tell you now that I've been looking again for about a year and a half, and I look at houses and I look at land, and I'm always looking. And I can tell you that as a consumer or as a person who's searching real estate, I don't even really know how it works. So I have a friend that I'm working with who works with you, and I say, okay, so do I call you about this, or do I call who's on the sign, or how do I? So what is it, the advice you give to people who are saying, okay, I think I'm interested. Where do you even start? Because I consider myself an intelligent woman who has bought real estate 3 times now, and I'm 47. So how come I still don't really know if it's a land thing? Do I call someone else? How does that work?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So I'll kind of break it apart. First off, you do a really good job knowing that you don't know anything. A lot of people think because they bought a home or two, they know everything. And so a lot of times I'll ask, when was the last time you bought a home? 6 months ago. Okay, great, things have changed. When was the last time you bought a home? 10 years ago. Great, things have changed. Let me explain how it works. And then step 2 is the first place you start is to find an expert advisor in your area, and you have one that you can trust. And an expert meaning they do it full time, they understand the marketplace, they sell a certain amount of homes a year, you want recency of experience, and then you hunt out an advisor, someone that's your fiduciary that's working on your sole behalf. So when you call this sign in the yard, you're calling the seller's agent who represents the seller. Anything you say can be relayed to them. They haven't established a fiduciary responsibility and confidentiality. So a lot of people go out there, they're calling signs, they're going to open houses, and they trust people because they're honest and open people, especially in our community, but they don't realize legally they don't have confidentiality. So you're doing the right things. Once you have that set up, then you establish the relationship, and it takes time.
Yeah, it takes
you
a
want
lot.
someone with some patience.
And so is part of my job then that makes your guys' job easier to be looking to go on your website or whomever's website I'm working with and really look and search? Because I don't want to waste my time going and looking at things that I already know that's got a master upstairs and I want to master down. So you can eliminate a lot of time and effort that way by doing the searches yourself.
Yeah, so 40% of buyers will actually find the home and tell their agent to go show it, because you have access to all the homes. So you want to be on our website's Selling Wenatchee, so you would want to be on the same website as your agent so that you can communicate through that technology. If the agent doesn't have that technology, it doesn't work. So at our office, you go to the website, you can then favorite a property, request a showing, and it'll go to that agent. So you can communicate and you can establish like, okay, I found one. The agent should be house hunting and the buyer should be also looking.
Well, one of the things I've looked at your website in detail, and they're not all the same, all the websites.
Oh, no.
Not all of them have the technology you're talking about.
Right.
And so when I was looking at yours, it has free access, so I gave the information I needed to navigate it. And then a couple other things popped up, and they weren't annoying things. They were things that were going to help me even more with my search. So it's there for people like me who have an idea what they want and how to go about it.
Yeah, and what consumers are doing, they have access to all these homes and they're going to multiple sources, Zillow, TrulyARealtor.com, and they have a varying inventory. So you think you're shopping at a different department store, but you're actually just shopping at limited selection. There's ways to get access to the entire marketplace. Does that make sense? They think they're like tapping into other places, but really they're just looking at the limited supply. So like websites like ours open up majority of the properties, more than Zillow and Truly, and then by having an agent that has the pulse on the marketplace, can tell you about homes.
Yeah, and a lot of times they've seen them already, or they know what the topography of the land is, and that sort of thing.
And if you're online, you're looking at all the homes that people have already sorted through.
Right. True.
They're not the best homes necessarily.
They can be, but okay. Well, let's take a break. So we're talking with Nick McLean of Nick McLean Real Estate Group, Nick McLean Real Estate Group, and I have a few people from that you worked with here in the studio that we're going to talk with. I just want to get an idea of how your mind works in terms of the marketing in this real estate market, but just in general, the utilization of social media. I've been noticing.
For sure.
So we'll be back in just a moment.
Elements is a nationwide top 200 salon celebrating 20 years of service in the Wenatchee Valley. We are staffed with educated and experienced designers providing beauty and health services. Visit Elements Salon during our holiday open house with giveaways, complimentary services, catered appetizers, and 20% off all product. Saturday, November 10th from 10 to 4.
Dear Mary Maids, just got home from a trade show and I didn't have time to pick up the house. Kids made chili. Jeff did a mud run. Oh, and Winston shredded Teddy's bed. Again, please clean it the best you can. Oh, except for the statue Max made for me. Thanks, Abby.
Hi, Abby. Clean kitchen, clean bath, clean floor, naughty cat. Poor Teddy. The statue is precious. You should keep it forever. See you next time, Mary Maids.
Hi, I'm Lisa Bradshaw. Thanks for joining the show today. Earlier in the show, I was talking with Nick McLean of Nick McLean Real Estate Group. We were talking about his start in real estate here in the Wenatchee area, actually started in Lake Chelan. And I've been noticing a lot of his social media branding and marketing, and I take an interest in it, maybe because I'm in the market for a house, but also just because I pay attention to social media and what people are doing in our community. Well, also joining the show now with Nick is David Mabee of Mabee Media.
Yes, it's a mouthful, I know.
David Mabee of Mabee Media. So I wanted to have you on because, well, welcome to the show, first of all.
Thank you for having me.
But I wanted to have you on with Nick because of an experiment you guys recently did with the marketing campaign. So tell me a little bit about how that started.
So I grew up in Cleveland as well with Nick. I've known him for a long time. Moved up to Wenatchee. I was working for a company called Gamefly, doing social media for them. Got laid off, and Nick,
just recently.
Just
right?
recently, yeah, June. Me and Nick were going for a bike ride end of June, talking about next steps because I've done some real estate as well. And he's like, hey, I've helped him do some social media stuff. He's doing this series where he does speakers and talks about things. And he said, what do you think about doing a social media event? I said, yeah, I don't have anything else on my plate right now. Let's do it. And I created Mabee Media, all of that the next day. So
just for this
talk.
And this is while mountain biking on a single track trail.
Yeah, just out talking.
Number
two, just talking. And so yeah, it's just been a kind of a roller coaster. It was just something created to see, okay, we have this idea. I've done it with a huge company. I've helped him with a smaller company. Let's see if we can do this with a brand new company. And actually get people to show up and listen to a social media talk. So that's kind of how it all came about.
And you and I are friends, and we have mutual friends, so I knew that it was happening, and I said, hey, why don't you come on my show and let's promote it? And you said, no.
Yeah, and the reason being was, thank you for that.
Sure.
Any promotion helps. I don't think people should go away from different types of media.
Sure.
But this was an experiment to see, okay, can we make this happen just on social media? Because especially in this valley, a lot of people are, I think, scared of social media.
In what way?
I hear a lot of times people are like, well, I had a page up or something went wrong and people complained. I don't know what to do there. And it's going to happen. It's, there's trolls online, there's anything. So if you post anything.
Learning curves.
Yeah, everything's going to happen. So I would say don't be scared of social media. If anything else, it can help you. So that's kind of what we proved with the event. I think it was pretty successful. I'm still unemployed looking for work, but the company's taken off a little bit here and there. But yeah, it's just this market's completely different. I think because there's hurdles that you have to get over with people not really understanding social media first off, and then not understanding
the power,
and then also like what it should cost.
Yeah, I mean this year we really had an initiative to take social media to the next level I mean, because we're known for our marketing, we took it on, and we did the event series, Behind the End series, because in order for our business to grow, we got to find new talent, experienced agents or people outside of the real estate industry, and get them interested and train them and get speakers like Dave to learn about social media so they can grow their business. So hopefully they'll work with us, and also we want to meet buyers and sellers. Now, one thing I heard recently is like, when Henry Ford invented the car, you didn't know the return on investment of it, right? And people don't know the return on social media right now, and so they think small town is not here yet. Like they expect us to wait. Like we're supposed to wait for technology to come over here, and it really works. I mean, it's very, very powerful, and Dave and I proved it with that event. We had probably 50 people. I don't know the exact count, but
yeah, I mean, 50 people plus, had 100 plus. We had to shut off the registration because we had 100 plus sign up, and the room held like 65. So that's what we were worried about there.
And the other thing, I've been involved in nonprofits and promoting events and things for a long time, a decade. And Wenatchee, I have found you don't necessarily know if they're coming until
last minute,
like the night before it's supposed to happen or the day it's happening. So you were able to at least, you had half the people that said they were coming come.
Yeah. We shut it off at 100.
Right.
And in hindsight, we should have probably gone to a 200. And
then maybe gotten 100, right?
Yeah.
So.
And it was very little budget.
Right.
That's the thing about writing.
Because you did it with ads.
Ads, social media ads. We shot videos. So that's the thing that people need to realize. Yes, you can make a lot happen with a small spin on social media, but you have to pay for the content or get good content to create and promote, which could be a completely different budget.
Right.
So I can make a lot happen with a small budget for ads, but you have to have content and create content and that sort of thing.
Well, when I did a tour last year, and I'm doing it again this spring or I did it this past spring, and I'm doing it next spring for my nonprofit, the Don't Wait Project, and it was content rich, and it was a matter of workflow and like trying to get a handle on what should I be posting, and how long should the videos be, and that, all of that is stuff that's part of that learning curve, right? If you have the ideas and the way to bring it to fruition, then social media is an inexpensive way to get them out there.
Yeah, and everyone has a cell phone right now, and very, very advanced technology, far more advanced than what we sent to the moon, by far. And you have a video recorder, you have the video equipment. We were just talking about a teleprompter. You can do all this on iPads now. My very worst video that I've shot, my worst video has outperformed everyone's video that you never posted. The video you never posted or you never shot, my worst crushed that on social media.
Right.
So social media works, you gotta do it and you gotta take action. And sometimes reaching out to someone like Dave to help you with your media is that you need that you need that little encouragement.
Yes.
That you look great on camera, you just get it out there, people are gonna wanna know about you. There's lots of businesses, lots of stories out in our community that people need to know about.
So what do you think was the overall outcome of your experiment?
Well, so it was really great because I proved, I helped a car wash, the owners as well, and we got over 10,000 views on a video I created for them. And that's just exposure for their brand, their business. And the ad itself, we didn't spend that much money on. I think we spent like $50.
And that's
but then
innovative on your
targeting-
part, because you're like, okay, let me do this for you, and let's just see what happens.
Yeah, and it was literally, I went to them because I hang out with them a lot, and I knew they had their business, and they were always looking for other ways. And I said, hey, I got an idea. Let me do this. I'll help you out. I know you'll help me out later. So let's just do it and try it, and it worked out really well. Funny thing was, it was like the hottest day of the year. My camera equipment was overheating. Like some of the shots didn't come out 100% perfect, and I was like, let's just run with it. Let's just see what it does, because it looked good. And the other thing people have to realize is social media is, people don't expect like the studio environment. You can do stuff on your phone, or you can do that. It's about content and getting a good message out there, and you can promote it from that. So yeah, it ended up being really good, and it taught me a lot of different things too. Because I've been used to working with, we have 1.5 million fans on GameFly, just on Facebook, and then we have like 8,000 on Instagram, and we had 45,000 people on Twitter. So being creative there and getting a lot of likes, you didn't have to do as much work. So it was a good experiment for me as well.
And what I find with business owners too is like, they want to do social media, they're scared to do it, they're scared about the response, they don't have the time to do it because they're busy doing everything else in their industry, in their business to make it run. So they look around the room and they find the youngest person at their company, or their
Yeah, because they think
kids.
that's the hip person
Yeah,
that
they're
knows
going to
something.
know how to run a business and how to market a business, and it's not right?
Right.
You know, not saying that a younger person can't do it, but I've seen that. It's like, well, let's just delegate that to my kid, or let's delegate that to someone
Or
else.
the intern.
Yeah, the intern. And it's so powerful. You're delegating the most powerful tool in your arsenal to somebody that doesn't know how to run your business. You need to take the bull by the horns. You need to hire a consultant if you need confidence, like Dave, and then you need to do it. It's that simple.
That's the thing I think I respect most about Nick is he's not afraid to try different things. You can just tell with his marketing, he'll try everything under the sun, and if it works, he'll go full tilt for it. So it was a good experience. I think we both learned a lot from it, and you know, it's been kind of a wild ride.
Well, I appreciate you both coming on. So, Nick, you're going to stick around. We've talked about business and marketing. Next, I want to talk about community and how you're reaching the community. So, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
We'll be back in just a moment.
So Pam, how's your mom doing?
She's okay. She's struggling. She'd like to stay in her house, and it's getting harder for her to do the daily chores.
What kinds of problems is she having?
Just basic house cleaning, you know, taking care of her house, yard work, taking care of her medicine.
It does sound exhausting.
It is very exhausting, and I always worry about her.
Aging in Adult Care can assist you or your loved one to remain comfortably and safely in their own home. Contact them today to start the conversation.
Elements is a nationwide top 200 salon celebrating 20 years of service in the Wenatchee Valley. We are staffed with educated and experienced designers providing beauty and health services. Visit Elements Salon during our holiday open house with giveaways, complimentary services, catered appetizers, and 20% off all product. Saturday, November 10th from 10 to 4.
Hi, thanks for being here. I'm Lisa Bradshaw. I've been talking with Nick McLean of Nick McLean Real Estate today. He is here talking about marketing and business. I had David Mabee of Mabee Media here earlier in the show. Let's talk real quick about what you're doing, how you're using social media to reach the community in terms of outreach.
Well, through the years, we've been known for our marketing. We have the personnel, the technology, and the skills where we're really a media company, kind of like what you guys are on a smaller scale, an entrepreneurial scale. It was like, and one of our core values was we value family, health, and community. And we're like, how can we help the community with what we do? And that was media and bringing awareness to different events or organizations, nonprofits that can utilize us. So because people come to our office all the time wanting donations. There's plenty of places to donate, and we do donate, but we also wanted to give back and bring awareness. So we started this initiative, Stronger Together, a program, and with Carrie and Kurt Grossar, they're kind of they're the brains behind this, and they're our directors, and we help people out by bringing awareness, by shooting videos, using social media, and getting the word out there about their events or any donations or whatever they have to tell.
I think I'm a huge believer in storytelling.
Yeah.
I make a living telling stories. So anytime that we can bring attention to the nonprofits in our community, I'm all for it. So people can reach out to you if they if they have a nonprofit
yeah, if they have
or something.
one, and we've already had a lot of outreach. Right now, if you go to Nick McLean Real Estate Group on our Facebook page, you can see what we do and see if this would work for your organization. We did one for Chelan County Sheriff's Office for the deputies because they have the EVOC training, Emergency Vehicle Operations course. And we actually went on site and shot video doing that because they would like to get some donations for some more equipment. So check out those videos. If you think if you had videos about your organization to tell that story and get awareness out there, we'd be happy to help you out.
So you, in addition to the marketing that you're using for business, so this is all geared toward nonprofits, people who are trying to do the right thing in the community.
Yes.
And sometimes that's a marriage of businesses, because I think, especially in this community, you know, in all communities, but in this smaller community, if you are a small business and you aren't involved in the community and helping out the nonprofits, it's hard to imagine because so many do a good job of it here.
Yeah, and that's why Stronger Together, we think profit, nonprofit, the strong leaders and influencers can help out big time. And video, social media is where it's at, and we're going to get people to do it. And we have a full-time videographer. You know.
Oh, you do? Someone in-house that you can say,
so
hey.
you know, if someone wanted to hire out a videographer to promote they don't have the funds.
Right.
And we're going to provide you with that. And through my years of marketing and writing ad copy and kind of figuring out what your goals are, we can implement this really quickly. So I have a lot of fun. It's like taking a business and getting it online really quickly, like with Mabee Media and doing that event. It was like, how fast can we implement this? And so we have a lot of fun with it, and we think it's going to make a big impact.
So visit your Facebook page for information.
Just to see what we're doing, and then message us.
Yeah, reach
and
out.
get a hold of me. I'm very accessible to the
Yeah.
community, for sure.
Well, I appreciate you being here. I have a lot of respect for the work that you do in our community and how you get the word out and how successful you've become. And I know people who work with you who have a lot of respect for the work you do as well. So I appreciate you being here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
If you want to check out Nick McLean Real Estate, you can go to the website, Nick McLean Real Estate Group. You can visit their Facebook page for more information about bringing your nonprofit to social media with their help. Thanks for joining us today.
Is your vehicle in need of a quick oil change or tune-up before hitting the road this summer? Stop by Quick Lube and Tune, the home of the good guys at 610 South Wenatchee Avenue.